If you've been scrolling through endless scanner specs, watching YouTube unbox after unbox, and still feel stuck wondering which machine actually speeds up your paperwork without turning your desk into a paper graveyard, this review is going to give you the clarity you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few days setting up a Fujitsu Fi 8170 in two very different workspaces, a home office that doubles as a kids' art studio, and a small legal practice that processes client files all day, so I can tell you whether the hype matches the everyday reality. First off, let's talk about why you'd even consider a dedicated duplex scanner instead of a multifunction printer. The main promise is speed and reliability. You want to toss a stack of documents in, walk away, and have crisp, searchable PDFs appear on your computer in a matter of minutes. The Fi 8170 claims up to 70 pages per minute, which sounds like a lot. But the real question is how that speed translates when you're handling mixed media. Think business cards, passport photos, and a few thick contracts. In the home office, I loaded a 100-sheet batch of tax receipts, each a different size, and watched the machine pull them through the automatic document feeder, ADF. The feeder held exactly 100 sheets, which is a solid middle ground for most small businesses. It didn't jam on the first pass, but after about 40 pages the feed started to stutter on a couple of torn receipts. The built-in ultrasonic multi-feed detection did kick in, flashing a warning and pausing the scan so I could clear the jam. That feature saved me from having to rescan a whole batch later, but it also meant I had to be ready to intervene quickly if the paper quality isn't uniform. What sets the Fi 8170 apart from a generic office scanner is its handling of thick media. It can scan items up to 1.4 millimeters, which includes passports, ID cards, and embossed business cards. I tested a stack of employee ID badges that have a magnetic stripe. The scanner captured the stripe detail without smearing, and the resulting image retained enough contrast to be readable after OCR. For anyone who needs to digitize identification documents, HR departments, travel agencies, or even a small notary service, that capability is a genuine time saver. On the flip side, the machine's 600 dpi optical resolution is respectable for text and most graphics. But if you're scanning fine line art or high-resolution photographs, you'll notice a slight softness compared to a dedicated photo scanner. In my legal practice test, we scanned a series of signed contracts that had watermarks embedded in the background. The watermarks were readable, but the subtle texture of the paper grain was a bit muted. If your workflow depends on archival-grade image fidelity, you might want a scanner that pushes 1200 dpi or higher. Compatibility is another area where the Fi 8170 shines. It works natively with Windows, Mac OS, and even Linux, which is a rare find for a mid-range scanner. I paired it with a MacBook running the Fuji ScanSnap Manager and set up a workflow that automatically named files by date and appended a QR code for easy retrieval. In the small law office, the scanner integrated seamlessly with their case management software on a Windows PC, dropping PDFs straight into the client folder with no manual renaming required. That level of plug-and-play reduces the IT overhead that often scares small teams away from buying a new piece of hardware. Now, who should actually buy this scanner? If you're a freelance graphic designer who only needs to digitize occasional sketches, you're probably overpaying. The same goes for someone who only scans a few invoices a month. A lower-cost, single-feed scanner would do the job. The Fi 8170 is best suited for three types of users. First, small to medium offices that handle a steady flow of mixed-sized documents. Think HR, legal, or accounting firms. Second, anyone who needs to scan thick media on a regular basis, such as ID cards, passports, or laminated tickets. Third, power users who value cross-platform compatibility and want to set up automated scanning workflows without writing custom scripts. If you fall into any of those categories, the value proposition becomes clearer. The high-capacity ADF means you can scan a full client file in one go, and the duplex capability cuts the time in half compared to a single-sided scanner. The error detection saves you from costly rescans, and the ability to handle thick cards removes the need for a separate card reader. All of those features add up to a lower total cost of ownership, even if the upfront price isn't the cheapest on the market. However, there are practical trade-offs you need to weigh. The machine's footprint is larger than a typical desktop scanner, about the size of a small printer, so you'll need a dedicated spot on your desk or a sturdy shelf. It also draws more power than a low-end scanner, which matters if you're trying to keep an eco-friendly office. And while the software suite is robust, it can feel a bit dated. The UI hasn't changed much in recent years, and some users might prefer a more modern,